things that live in this world die. This is why you must find joy in the living while the time is yours, and not fear the end. To deny this is to deny life, but to embrace it. Can you embrace it?
In the name of God, now I know what it feels like to be God.
The narrative is one big circle, like a cinnamon roll, not a straight line pointing to the nearest exit. You cannot capture a man's entire life in 2 hours. All you can hope is to leave the impression of one.
But nobody expects Shakespeare.
Mondottam, ember, küzdj, és bízva bízzál.
Who are you? This is my family. I found it all on my own. It's little and broken, but still good. Yeah, still good.
You know, Bill, there's one thing I've learned in all my years. Sometimes you gotta say, what the fuck? Make your move.
I beg your pardon?
What?
Something my granddaddy used to tell us. You know Macumbo? Voodoo. Granddad was a priest in Trinidad. He used to tell us, when there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
In the past, I have made no secret of my disdain for Chef Gusteau's famous motto, anyone can cook. But I realize only now do I truly understand what he meant. Not everyone can become a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere. It is difficult to imagine more humble origins than those of the genius now cooking at Gusteau's.
The truth will come out. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But it will. The truth shall be your curse. It will follow you for eternity. I will shadow you forever. I will show them what you've done. I will never let you go.
You still wake up sometimes, don't you? You wake up in the dark and hear the screaming of the lambs.
Yes. And yet you ask me to come with you?
Yes. I'm prepared to risk your life, and much more than mine, to get you out of that dreadful house into the sunshine and to have you for my wife.
Well, let's go in now. We got nothing to do but wait for tomorrow and see if we're remembered or forgotten.
What are you doing up there?
Calm down.
Oh, I'll yell all I want. He can't hear me. He's the white man's God.
Jeff, you are not a Negro.
Don't be too proud, Henry. Never be too proud to go on your knees before God.
world making normal while I'm gone, okay?
I never will.
You were so loved, Don Tomasino. Why was I so feared and you so loved? What was it? I was no less honorable. I wanted to do good.
Because you're right, Reuben. The world does keep moving. It can be a damn cruel place. But for me, those moments of stillness, that place, that's the kingdom of God. And that place will never abandon you.
Can you be so cruel?
Yes, I can be very cruel. I have been taught by masters.
Kérem csak, hogy velem együtt lépjenek ki egy határtalan térbe, ahol az állandóság, a nyugalom és a béke, a végtelen üresség az út. És képzeljék csak el, hogy itt, ebben a végtelen zengő csendben mindenfelé áthatolhatatlan sötétség.
Look at her. I would die for her. I would kill for her. Either way, what bliss.
I can see it. This one moment when you know you're not a sad story. You are alive. And you stand up and see the lights on the buildings and everything that makes you wonder. And you're listening to that song on that drive with the people you love most in this world. And in this moment, I swear, we are infinite.
これまで人生の下なんだ。しかし今やその主人になろうとして、人生を楽しむことってね、これあんた人間の義務ですよ。与えられた生命を無駄にするのは神に対する冒涜ですよ。人間生きることにこれ貪欲にならなくちゃダメ。
What would you have me do? Look at my men. Their courage hangs by a thread. If this is to be our end, then I would have them make such an end as to be worthy of remembrance.
We had this contract. You failed to keep your part.
I failed because I put my faith in people instead of in God.
Well, forget it. It was an invisible contract anyway.
You're Norma Desmond. Used to be in silent pictures. Used to be big.
I am big. It's the pictures that got small.
I named you after her, Barbara. And I always hoped for you, like I hoped for her. We mothers stand still so our daughters can look back to see how far they've come.
お前ら大人舐めてんだろ。舐めんのはいいよ。だけどな、これだけは覚えとけ。人生はゲームです。みんな必死になって戦って生き残る価値のある大人になりましょう。
You don't know about real loss, because that only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself. I doubt you've ever dared to love anybody that much.
Your story may not have such a happy beginning, but that doesn't make you who you are. It is the rest of your story. Who you choose to be.
15년간의 상실감, 처자식을 잃은 고통, 이런 거 다 잊어버릴 수 있을 거야. 다시 말해서 복수심은 건강에 좋다. 하지만 복수가 다 이루어지고 나면 어떨까? 아마 숨어있던 고통이 다시 찾아올걸?
Another medical possibility which I took into consideration. Wanting to test her mental abilities, I put this question to her. Do you know what a sinner is? Without hesitation, she answered, certainly, monsieur. A sinner is one who loves evil. That's quite a good answer. What pleased me was that she said loves and not does. After this, any diagnosis of feeble-mindedness was out of the question.
Ich bin der Zorn Gottes. Die Erde, über die ich gehe, sieht mich und bebt. Wer aber mir und dem Fluss folgt, wird unerhörten Reichtum erlangen. Wer aber desertiert.
And then Medusa. I wrote a play about her long ago. I was partial to tragedy in my youth. Before experience taught me that life is quite tragic enough without my having to write about it. Medusa.
Все на круге своя. И кружится, и кружится. Если бы Иисус снова на землю пришел, его бы снова распяли.
Да уж, конечно, если только одно зло помнить, то перед Богом и счастлив никогда не будешь.
Что?
Pain, I can assure you, will be exquisite. As for our deaths, there is nothing to fear. Our names will be written on 1,000 walls, our crimes told and retold by our faithful believers. We shall die together in front of their very eyes and give them something to be haunted by.
But glory doesn't mean that.
When I use a word, it means what I choose it to mean, neither more or less.
The question is whether you can make words mean different things.
The question is, which is to be the master, you or the word, that's all. However, I can manage the whole lot.
Pity Bilbo didn't kill him when he had the chance.
Pity? It was pity that stayed Bilbo's hand. Many that live deserve death. And some that die deserve life. Can you give it to them, Frodo? Do not be too eager to deal out death and judgment. Where the hell have you heard that voice, General? In freight elevators? In dark alleys? In secret places in the dead of night? How did that voice seep into a locked room full of conspirators? That's not where you hear the voice of the people, General, not in this republic. You want to defend the United States of America, then defend it with the tools it supplies you with.
Here, all we get are a few specks of time where any of this actually makes any sense.
Then I will cherish these few specks of time.
My fears melted away, and in their place came acceptance. All this vast majesty of creation, it had to mean something. And then I meant something too. Yes, smaller than the smallest, I meant something too. To God, there is no zero. I still exist.
life eternal, as promised to us by our Lord Jesus Christ.
That is good, for believing what you do. We confer upon you a rare gift these days. A martyr's death. You will not only have life eternal, but you will sit with the saints among the elect.
I bet your parents taught you that you mean something. That you're here for a reason. My parents taught me a different lesson. Dying in the gutter for no reason at all. They taught me the world only makes sense if you force it to.
Too late to undo this madness.
Madness. I demand the destitution, shame, and loneliness of scorn. It is my destiny. It is my right. Nothing will deter me from it.
Men who crave power look back over the mistakes of their lives, pile them all together, and call it destiny.
I don't want another. Your mom was the only woman for me. She was the love of my life. But with love comes loss, son. It's part of the deal. Sometimes it hurts, but in the end, it's all worth it. There's no greater gift than love.
The trouble is you won't fight. You've given in, continually dwelling on sickness and death. But there's something just as inevitable as death, and that's life. Life, life, life. Think of the power that's in the universe, moving the earth, growing the trees, and that's the same power within you, if you'll only have courage and the will to use it. Good night.
Strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. And when he isn't around, he leaves an awful hole, doesn't he?
I've heard of things like this. You got me in some kind of a spell or something. Well, I'm gonna get out of it. I'll get out of it.
Maybe, in a way, that smelly old flounder is right. Because how many can die in your arms before you grow numb to death?
That's not very careful.
Now, how many dead eyes can you look into before you die inside yourself?
I've been dead inside a long time.
We didn't go there to learn. One becomes very clear about these things. What are you asking for? Forgiveness for her, or do you just want to feel better yourself? My advice, go to the theater if you want catharsis. Please, go to literature. Don't go to the camps. Nothing comes out of the camps.
This was no composition by a performing monkey. This was a music I'd never heard. Filled with such longing, such unfulfillable longing. It seemed to me that I was hearing a voice of God. Excuse me.
I pitted them against each other, but not until they set aside their differences did I see the true power they all shared deep inside. I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
Failure
Yes, failure most of all. The greatest teacher failure is. Luke, we are what they grow beyond. That is the true burden of all masters.
I'd never seen a man so broken up and ripped apart.
I've seen horrors. Horrors that you've seen. But you have no right to call me a murderer. You have a right to kill me. You have a right to do that. But you have no right to judge me.
Ne a babelwa ke lefu le pina ha na ka iphokola o ne ka bina diaba a bitsa tsa madiba bobodi hlatsa nyoko ya ba o ikgethela ho thola a hloboha modimo le tsohle tse hlodilweng a kenwa ke tshokelo.
You should have taken care of me just a little bit so I wouldn't have to take them dives for the short-end money.
Well, I had some bets down for you. You saw some money.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum, which is what I am. Let's face it.
Ça fait vraiment de bien de chier un coup. Vous croyez en Dieu? Il ne faut pas se demander si on croit en Dieu, mais si Dieu croit en nous. J'avais un ami qui s'appelait Grunwaldski.
Kasnuko ma tenele maka tingwila twitch. Mayung eba ma tunah tune. Lebetik uyah ta upusik alo. Yanubin ukat yetel uchaik balo. Leluma yanuk inu yaik tie. Leyan tsai te che ok tsai te.
世界は私の知らない事柄で満ちている。そう母は思ったそうです。
Not abandon faith. Faith is the most important thing.
Then why did God plague us with the power to think? Mr. Brady, why do you deny the one faculty of man that raises him above the other creatures of the earth? The power of his brain to reason. What other merit have we? The elephant is larger, the horse is swifter and stronger, the butterfly is far more beautiful.
Of my friend, I can only say this. Of all the souls I have encountered in my travels, his was the most human. Others? Hup.
Your movies, and you will do your art. And you'll remember how it hurt. So you know what I'm saying? Art will give you crowns in heaven and laurels on earth. But it'll tear your heart out and leave you lonely. You'll be a shanda for your loved ones, an exile in the desert, a gypsy.
Yay! 人間が泣き叫ぶのがそんなに面白いのか。
言うな。神は仏を罵るな。神は仏は泣いているのだ。
いつの世にも繰り返すこの人間の悪行。殺し合わねば生きていけぬこの人間の愚かさは。神や仏も救う術はないのだ。
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble. They will fall. But in time, they will join you in the sun count. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders.
The strawberries taste like strawberries. The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Snozberries? Who ever heard of a snozberry?
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams. Come along, come on.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with this. But if you think you need those lives...
Thank you, Perrito.
You know, I've only ever had one life, but sharing it with you and Kitty has made it pretty special. Maybe one life is enough?
No, mi creda, non abbia né nostalgia né rimorsi. Distruggere è meglio che creare quando non si creano le poche cose necessarie. E poi c'è qualcosa di così chiaro e giusto al mondo che abbia il diritto di vivere. Un film sbagliato per lui non è che un fatto economico, ma per lei, al punto in cui è arrivato, poteva essere la fine.
It was a hot afternoon, and I can still remember the smell of honeysuckle all along that street. How could I have known that murder can sometimes smell like honeysuckle? Maybe you would have known, Keys, the minute she mentioned accident insurance. But I didn't. I felt like a million.
You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So, what'll I make you? Good? You're not good. You just know how to hide, how to lie. Me, I don't have that problem.
In spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart.
She puts me to shame.
How are you doing this, Vincent? How have you done any of this? We have to go back. It's too late for that. We're close to the other side. What other side? You want to drown us both? You want to know how I did it? This is how I did it, Anton. I never saved anything for the swim back.
Father Valeriano, you will say that their death is not meaningless. Surely God heard their prayers as they died. But did he hear their screams? How can I explain his silence to these people who have endured so much?
Can't you do something about this?
All I can do is to suggest that you get down on your knees and pray.
I think you're right if God is still on speaking terms with me.
God remains on speaking terms with everybody.
I created them. Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created? Here on Earth? Stop looking at me like that. I'm no loon.
What I'm still trying to figure out is why this island doesn't show up on even our most advanced satellites.
This is a fatal answer.
Joan, do you know what this means? It means the fire, your death.
To live without faith is more terrible than the fire, more terrible than dying young. I have nothing more to do here. Send me back to God from whom I came.
Be of good cheer, my lord. It is all over. Yes, the executioner will see to the rest.
Loneliness has followed me my whole life. Everywhere. Bars and cars, sidewalks, stores, everywhere. There's no escape from God's lonely man.
God does not exist.
I know nothing of God or the devil. I have never seen a vision nor learned a secret that would damn or save my soul. And as far as I know, after 400 years, I am the oldest living vampire in the world.
A little secret for you. Huddle up. Huddle up!
We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race. And the human race is filled with passion.
Poetic, gentlemen. Let me know when we pass the soul.
The soul? The finite mind cannot comprehend infinity. And the soul, which comes from God, is infinite.
Yes, but our time isn't.
I am looking at the stars. They're so far away, and their light takes so long to reach us. All we ever see of stars are their old photographs.
僕あの時幸せな思い出を自分の中に必死になって探してた。そして50年経って自分も人の幸せに参加していることが分かった。それはとっても素敵なことだった。
Yes, I have lived from you too. But the difference is you have also lived from me.
We have supported each other because we shared a dream.
We are the same, you and I. We are two odd, lonely children reaching for eternity.
Maybe you should fly away, my boy. Away from all of this.
Catherine Earnshaw, may you not rest so long as I live on. I killed you. Haunt me then. Haunt your murderer. I know that ghosts have wandered on the earth. Be with me always. Take any form. Drive me mad. Only do not leave me in this dark alone, for I cannot find you. I cannot live without my life. I cannot die without my soul.
And I don't know. You tell me, this whole dream, was it wishful thinking? Was I just fleeing reality like I know I'm liable to do? But me and Ed, we can be good too. And it seemed real. It seemed like us. And it seemed like, well, our home.
When will I know I'm ready?
You won't. It's a leap of faith. That's all it is, Miles. A leap of faith.
Did all that in one afternoon. That Vita certainly is a whirlwind, isn't she?
Good heavens, man, haven't you any righteous indignation?
Oh, Doctor, you know, years ago, my mother used to say to me, she'd say, in this world, Elwood, you must be, she always called me Elwood. In this world, Elwood, you must be oh so smart or oh so pleasant. Well, for years I was smart. I recommend pleasant. You may quote me.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I see you, Nimona. And you're not alone.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the 10-house gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. Time to die. I'll hunt you.
You'll hunt me. You'll condemn me. Set the dogs on me. Because that's what needs to happen. Because sometimes truth isn't good enough. Sometimes people deserve more. Sometimes people deserve to have their faith rewarded.
Jag vill ha vetskap.
Du vill ha garanti?
Kalla det vad du vill. Är det så grymt otänkbart att fatta Gud med sina sinnen? Varför ska han gömma sig i en dunstkrets av halvuttalade löften och osedda under? Hur ska vi kunna tro på de troende när vi inte tror själva?
15 years ago, I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
And the stone that sits on the very top of the mountain's mighty face, does it think it's more important than the stones that form the base? So how can you see what your life is worth, or where your value lies? You can never see through the eyes of man. You must look at your life. Look at your life through heaven's eyes.
If only he could travel back and impart some wisdom to his younger self. If only he could at least tell the young people in this room. He lifts an arm to speak, but inexplicably says, "It smells like dust and moonlight."
I order you not to go. I order you not to go. I order you not to go.
I
you cry. But it's something I can never do.
Man has to be what he is, Joni. Can't break the mold. I tried it, it didn't work for me.
We want you, Shane.
Joey, there's no living with a killing. There's no going back from one. Right or wrong, it's a brand. A brand sticks. There's no going back. Now you run on home to your mother and tell her everything's all right. And there aren't any more guns in the valley.